Check, check. Is this thing running? Is this thing on? Never give in to the Internet of Things because I'm back, hopefully for a little while. Hopefully we'll have enough time to get this program up and running. But welcome to Daily What Ifs Program in Time, Round 2 Fight. Let's get into it. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Visual Disturbance. I'm your host. Welcome to the Daily What Ifs, Round 2. We are back again. Earlier, I apologize for everybody. I had to make a whole nother new link and everything. The powers that be turned me off. Click. They just went, no programming today, Visual Disturbance. Click. Boom. So click, click, boom. Yeah, that's not good. But yeah, welcome to Daily What Ifs Programming in Time. Welcome to Visual Disturbance. I hope you can hear me. I hope everything is good and crystal clear and all that good stuff. But we're going to get back on the horse. Hit all the links in the description because this is going to be a new video since the other one I had to toss it to the curve. But welcome everybody to the program. Welcome everybody that's come in here to gather with me this evening. And we got a lot to unpack and probably a little bit short time to get there because probably the internet might go out again because of all the ice. All this vortex has messed up transmissions, communications, all that good stuff. So programming in time, the Daily What Ifs. If you caught the last two Daily What Ifs, this is all when I look at factual information or programming or whatnot, and we'll show the information. Then I give my own spin and my own take on what ifs. And hope you all engaged too, because I love the last two we did. Everybody in the description, everybody commented below. It was so cool to get everybody's opinion. But today, we're going to talk about programming, TV, movies, all that good stuff. And we're going to get to some really compelling, mind-boggling information. And I'm pretty excited to talk about it because that's why I said I'm going to endure and go through this endurance and not get complacent and not lose my bearings because this is round 2 here of programming in time. Welcome everybody to the program. Let's get into it again. Let's drop this. Let's get back into the truth about this exposure to this stuff that is mind-boggling. And if the internet goes out again, we'll try for round 3. So welcome to the Daily What Ifs. That's enough of me rambling on. Check out the links in the description, all the affiliated channels and everything that's associated with Visual Disturbance. We really would appreciate it if you would hit that like button and share this thing out and subscribe to all the other channels that are affiliated with the Visual Disturbance. So let's just jump right on in here and get back on the horse. Speaking of Back to the Future program, so we're talking about programming in time. What is up with this Back to the Future that is so compelling, so informative as far as the little, earlier I was talking about Easter eggs, right? The little Easter eggs they plug in and, talking about movies and video games and whatnot. So this Back to the Future to me in the 1985 flick is very compelling to me because when you get into this, time travel narrative, like I was trying to talk about in the first broadcast before it got interrupted by the Internet of Things. The 88 symbolism in this film is so intriguing to me. It's interesting. You have Doc with a DeLorean and Marty McFly here that is participating in a, let's just say, time travel experiment with a remote control car, the DeLorean. And as you all know, I love talking about Back to the Future because I've done quite a few little short segments on the Back to the Future, but I did a whole Back to the Future decoding program with Brother David Carrico, and I totally enjoy it. But yeah, so get back to the 80s narrative. We have time travel movies, we have Terminator, we have, Bill and Ted Adventures, the telephone booth, all that good stuff, right? But we have this DeLorean, and for it to go at 88 miles an hour, they have this experiment, and Doc is in there I think it's the JCPenney's parking lot at the first film, and it's like early in the morning, right after midnight. I think it's at 1 something in the evening or in the early morning hours, and he's got a remote control in the DeLorean. So Marty McFly, he's all like, marveling after this endeavor, this huge event that's getting ready to conspire here in the parking lot. Well, he uses the dog, right? Einstein, the dog, and he goes to the future, a couple minutes in the future, right? You see these blue flames, you see this blue lightning coming, striking down the DeLorean, and boom, it just disappears, right? And Einstein, the doctor, the doc, his lovely companion, gets shot into the future and drifts into the parking lot and all that good stuff. So to continue on here, we talk about the 88 miles an hour. To hit 88 miles an hour is the way this time travel narrative is set for Back to the Future. So you have this DeLorean and the time travel mechanism, which we all know because it's an 80s classic, right? So we know as it of the flux capacitor. This is what makes time travel enabled into the Back to the Future narrative. So there's this 88. So earlier, whenever I got disconnected from the timeline, right? Earlier was talking about, I don't know where people come up with this Mandela stuff and the timeline shifting. I'm not mocking or making fun of anybody. I wish I could have receipts. I wish somebody could show me some information. If that stuff is legit, give me some information that holds fit, because I cannot see it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just, maybe my mind is not tuned in that way. But here on the What Ifs program, I'm going to show you where my mind goes and kind of show you the compelling information that I found. So focus on this flux capacitor for a little bit and look at the petroleum and all that. You look and it says disconnect the capacitor drive before opening, shield eyes from light. And you can see here, there's the 88. So the 88 keeps showing up everywhere. There's movies, TV shows, all over the place. And there is one that's very interesting to me that goes along with this Back to the Future. And that was, you've heard me talk about this film or this TV show quite often, Manifest. So on this slide here, this one's the slide from season 4, I think, and it's called Make the Final Connection. Well, here we are in the Visual Disturbance community, here in the Visual Disturbance channel. We're going to make a connection, but it's going to be so interesting and so mind-boggling. You're going to be like, what did I just watch? So as you can see here on the top of the screen, at the top of the slide here, these people, I'll give you a little context, a little plot point, just very little here on the Manifest. When I got abruptly interrupted during the internet connection, because, the snow and the particles are melting, so it's disconnection time. So Manifest program, there's these people that get on this plane, and they're going to a final destination, so to speak, and then all of a sudden, they're up in the air for several minutes, and their cell phones, all this disruptions go off, and they don't know they don't have any communications at all. And all of a sudden, they are miraculously teleported 5 years into the future, right? And there's all these, the FBI, CIA, all this emergency equipment. Everybody's just like panicking because they thought they lost this plane. They thought they lost the people, right? They thought it was completely vanished, right? Then all of a sudden it manifests, right? So get this, here's where it gets insane. So you see that plane on the screen here. Does anybody know what the number of the plane was called? This is what gets me every time. It's pretty bizarre. Did you know that the plane was 828? There's that 88 imagery again, and manifesting on a plane, and you have that time travel mechanism, and it corresponds with, this 88 1980s flick, right? This old movie from the Back to the Future. So, earlier I was speaking about, in the last program, before we got disconnected, that there's all this, I think the directors and producers obviously they like to use nostalgic clips and like relevant small little plug-ins, like I said about dropping Easter eggs to correspond with an old film, right? Because they love to just kind of bait and switch and pull anybody in that was an 80s fan or was alive in the 80s, right? They love this time travel capability, and when you get into 0-point energy and these propulsion systems on a factual information, this stuff is true. There's a 0-point energy field, and there's like the manas and orphanas and all this space force narrative where there's something that is in the air, drones, however you want to call it, fallen angel technology is what we call it here at Visual Disturbance Channel. But when you look about it and you think about it and articulate it and you look at the whole spectrum of things, the panorama, is all of it connected in some shape or form, sinister plot to make us manifest something that is not good for our well-being. Let's say that. So speaking of, don't forget the flux capacitor and the 828, because we're going to get back to this Manifest TV show. So where I was cut off earlier, this is where I was at earlier on the What Ifs programming in time. I was at this slide right here. So time cut. I skipped through this film. I would not recommend watching it for certain reasons. There's just certain things I just don't get into. but I referenced it for the time travel narrative in itself. Skip through, give you a short summary of it. This is like a horror movie, spin-off, so-called slasher, something weird with a time travel capability in it. As we can see here on this slide, this is from the movie slide. When you look at it, you see, and I know there's, like I got cut off earlier, this wardrobe here, I want to just focus on what they're showing here, this imagery, the symbolism, what they're showing. So if you look, and I was talking about earlier in the other program before I got disconnected, that there's this duality, this dualism, right? So in the Manifest program, there's this plane that's 828, they're associated, and there's these characters that have superpowers. When they come back, the main characters have, 5 years teleport in the future, and then they have these telekinesis and different capabilities since they was on that plane, right? Manifested this supernatural abilities, and which is kind of, demonic in nature, right? No, it's not kind of, it just straight up is. So this TV show is telling you, the manifest and symbol, this duality, this dualism. There's like twinning, right? There's, we talked about this in programs with NASA and everything. There's this duality, this shifting of twins. They have a twin research program, doppelgangers, right? So on this slide here, you see a doppelganger. You see the mirroring, right? You see mirrors. You got 2 of 2. So these 2 are sisters, but they did not know they were sisters until miraculously the youngest sister that is wearing the blue top, and we're going to focus on that here in a second. As you can see here, she has these glasses, heart glasses, but if you can look, there's a monarch on this shirt, and it's blue. You got to think about the blue, and we're going to hold that thought because later on in this program, we're going to talk about blue imagery and what is that? What's going on? So there's the monarch. So what's going on with the monarch? And let's hang on real quick. Let me tune in here and let me see what I can pull in because my screens are all messed up because I had some technical issues. One moment. Let me fix this here for everybody here to see. All right, so we're going to look here and check this out. So I just typed in and I Googled this. Anybody can do this. So monarch, occult meaning. In indigenous Mexican cultures, the monarch butterfly is a sacred symbol that connects to the living to the dead. Monarchs are believed to carry the souls of ancestors visiting from the afterlife. Well, what's interesting about it, folks, is when you look at this imagery and you think about this movie, she literally has to go, it's almost approximately 20 years. She miraculously tries to go back in time. Well, here's the kicker and the twist to it. Her sister passes away before the one with the monarch shirt is born, and the parents there's a horrible situation where she passes away during the film, but there's some type of time travel mechanism that the young lady stumbles upon in a barn. Well, she teleports back to 2003. Okay, well, she has to try to save her sister. All right. So what was interesting is the monarch, she becomes like the goddess, right? Like she's the, instead of this inferior, she's the superior authority, right? She's taking over this duality mirrorism. So it's mirroring, right? So at the beginning, she teleports back in 2003, and the youngest daughter sees and goes, because she's in the same town, everything, so she goes and finds her sister, and because she automatically knows that something has happened. Well, I want to focus real quick on the plot point here of her character. She gets enrolled in a scholarship, and they make it very apparent in the film, to NASA. So she has a NASA scholarship right before she even finds out about this time travel mechanism. So she's been mourning her sister for a long, long time, right? And she gets the opportunity to go back and meet her sister. So she uses this teleportation time travel box, these 2 box lasers that open up a wormhole, and she miraculously appears. Well, here's the kicker. So she's telling her sister, because she finally convinces her sister, because she has this note that is from the future, and she can correspond because there's 2 copies of it in this film. So she proves to this other person too, this other individual, this young man, that this girl is from the future. Well, wouldn't you riddle this? Because there's these murders that go on in this TV or this movie programming here. Well, she knows the dates, the times, and the specific, events that lead up to these mass, deaths, right? And it was interesting to me, but the monarch, like, she comes back from the future, which is technically she's not even alive in 2003, but she's technically afterlife, right? A little spin twist, like she's never been existing. Will she exist in 2003? That is not, that she can't, right? So she's trying to save her sister. Well, she finds out the times and the date, and she sits and convinces her sister. Well, get this. I took a screenshot of it on the film. I took a snapshot of it because it's a little distorted. Did you know she says to her sister, what if there's anything I could possibly do to prevent something? Would you do it? And she goes, what time is it? And the girl was like, yeah, I would do that. And they're like, what time is it? What time is it? So this first, let's just say, uneventful, well, no, excuse me, not uneventful, but this horrible incident happens, and she knows that the older sister, has these friends that get, let's just say, they pass away, right? And she knows the time and the date at the mall. Well, she goes, what time is it? And I kid you not, folks, here we go. 8:28. She turns around, looks at the clock on the right beside the bed, and it switches. It takes a millisecond to capture this. It went from 8, it goes 8:27, and then it went to 8:28. So there's the 8:28 imagery. So she knew the time and the date, and this, just stay with me. It's a what if program, a what if. She knew the time and the date, and she goes, the mall closes at 9. And then it flashes off, and they take off, proceeding to the mall to try to stop these events from happening with this slasher / let's just say evil person that's going around doing these evil things. So there's the 8:28. So we have 8:28 and the manifest. We have 8:28 in this time cut film. It's like a 2024 brand new spanking time travel film. You got the 1985 Back to the Future. So here's where it gets wild. So moving on here from this time cut, because there's really not much to say. It's a time travel movie, and it's something there's a lot of stuff at the end that reveals a lot of stuff I don't even want to get into. But for the sake of this film, 8:28, right? What does 8:28 mean? Right? When you Google it, what does 8:28 mean? Does anybody know out there in the visual disturbance community? You can do a quick Google search and check this out. This is interesting to me. So interesting. So you just do, what does 8:28 mean? Remember, I was talking earlier, I don't get into gematria, I don't get into this. I just don't get into it. It doesn't flow with me. It doesn't go well with me. I'm not a numerology person. I like to look at it and reference it, and that's what we're doing here. So I just Googled, what does 8:28 mean? But did you know, yes, it talks about angelic numbers, energies, all that, okay? But at the very bottom, if you go to show more, did you see right here at the bottom, it says area code. Area code. And we're going to go to this area code. Check this out. So let's check this out real quick. We're going to put in, so this is where it blows and baffles my mind, what we're getting ready to show you. Okay. So I went to Google Earth, and y'all know how I love Google Earth imagery here, visual disturbance. I love to look in and dig in deep dives. So I kid you not, I go up to the search bar, I type in 8:28, 8:28, right? And we're going to reference back to that Google, we're going to go back to the Google when I am the 8:28 meaning. So I typed in 8:28 on the Google. Well, did you know there's an area code? Did you know there's an area code? And y'all probably seen it. I try not to put too much emphasis on it. I try not to show you all earlier because I'm going to show you visually on the Google Earth. Do you know there's an 828 area code? You know where the 828 is? There's 828, and you're just going to plug it in here in a second. There's one up at the top of northern Kentucky. It's some kind of building. But did you know Asheville, North Carolina? Now, this whole area is 828, okay? So stick with me. This is one of the speculation and all theories, okay? For entertainment purposes only, we're gonna stay here for a moment. So when I found out it was 828, and we got to watch what we say here on the YouTube platform. Well, when I went back and referenced it, and I said, surely this can't be. Well, if you look in real fine letters here, the area code 828 is located in western North Carolina, okay? And covers the cities such as Asheville, Franklin, Hickory, Murphy, and Waynesville. Well, does anybody know what happened there? Them poor folk in North Carolina, my prayers go out to you all. I got to watch what I say here. But did y'all know that there was something diabolical with all that going on with Helene, with the hurricane that came several months ago? And it's still catastrophic, right? It's still unbelievable what's going on in that just anything going on with them poor folk out there, right? Well, let's get back to Google Earth, and I'm going to show you what I found. 828. Area code, we go there, we prove it, okay? You remember when I spoke about earlier in that time cut and she had the blue shirt on? Isn't that interesting that you can get a trash can and there's places right now, and I gotta watch what I say, that are on fire, that the blue cans, the blue tarps, the blue just miraculously does not get hit by the space, let's just say the direct lasers. Okay, let's continue on. 828, right? So for fun, I wanted to go ahead and I was like, let's just type in blue. Let's just see if there's a blue, anything blue. All right. But you know there's a blue mountain? There's a blue mountain not too far from here. Blue Mountain. Okay. Blue Mountain. There's the Blue Mountain. There's a Blue Mountain Way, Blue Mountain Drive, Blue Mountain Lane. Yes, I know it goes in different states. And there's a Black Mountain. I mean, heck, there's Blue Mountains. There's Black Mountain, Blue Mountain, everything, right? And I thought it was interesting, this whole area. Poor souls in the Appalachians. Poor people. But poor souls that have had to deal with what they've dealt with. My heart and soul, it hurts me to talk about it. I'm not putting down them people or anything. My heart goes out to them. If I could do anything else for them, I would try, but I just can't. But my prayers go out for you. That's all I can do. But I would say, it's really coincidental that the 828, and it's an area code, and then you're probably like, well, Brian, get to the point. What are you trying to say? Is there some type of like weirdness going on? Absolutely. So if you type in 828, it actually hits all those areas that we talked about. So, well, what's the point then? Well, this is a daily what if. So check this out. So this is where it gets me. So you remember when we talked about the 828, right? This one just got me. I'm going to go there. Does anybody know what happened and what they found underneath that land? I'm going to try to watch what I say with my lips. I'm just going to kind of show you and kind of like, I guess, let's just say, push it along without having to say much during the next few minutes. Check this out. As you can see on the screen here, the lithium carbonate, an example of lithium salt, right? Well, lithium, riddle that one. Where do they have abundance of that yet? Where's that at? Just riddle that. We just talked about it. I got to wordplay it and do a little encrypted language. Lithium. Look at the chemical compound and what it looks like when you look at it. Look at that. Look at it. The Li plus. Look at that. Lithium. Okay. All right. This is where it gets real fun. This is where it gets interesting. Now you're probably thinking, man, Brian, you're going to be reaching here in a second. Well, remember, on the What Ifs program, I can give you my take and it's a thought-provoking, gear-turning broadcast. The direction I'm going with this, check this out. So you invert it. You turn the flux capacitor upside down. Boom. I'm sorry. I got to watch what I say here. We might just need to pause here and focus on this for just a few moments. 88 miles an hour. Displacement. You get displaced. You get displaced in time, right? With old Marty McFly, but then these poor people get displaced, right? Gotta watch what I say, but how ironic. And could it be coincidental that they're both the imagery when you invert the flux capacitor, why does it look like the lithium on a chemical compound on a table? Come on now, folks. Come on now. What's going on with this? This one blew my mind. This is one of the jaw-dropping moments on the Daily What Ifs. So you mean to tell me that location I just got done showing you all with the 828 has abundance of this underneath the land, and the area code is 828? And they have the lithium at their disposal that's in the caverns underneath the ground. Underground facilities, whatever you want to call it, whatever they found, there's abundance of it. Okay? So here's another spinoff. Did you know that I'm going to watch what I say. Did you know that the L word here is in small increments incorporated in something that you could consume? Do you all know that? That's what's even blowing my mind, and I can't even talk about it here on this platform. But there's that 88, right? Boom. And mind-boggling to as far as, reaching as possible, I don't think this is a coincidence. What do you guys think? Comment below in the description, because this one was so compelling and I wanted to throw in the daily what ifs. So we have location, area code, them poor people. I can't emphasize it enough that they got displaced. It's horrible. My heart genuinely, I truly wish I could do something more. My soul hurts from the stuff that's happened in North Carolina. But you all, let me know what you think about this, because it really got me. It totally got me. It really did. It totally got me on this one. So, thank God that the stream is still staying on. Thank God for that. Thank God, right? So let's go back. Let's go back and reference some of the stuff that we talked about here. We have Marty McFly, flux capacitor, 88 miles an hour. We got the flux capacitor looking like an inverted lithium particle, right? Compound. I mean, come on. And manifest, and the planes coming out of the sky right now. Does anybody know that there's planes falling right now? There's all kinds of weird insanity going on in our realm. All kinds of disruptions with communication. I can't even get in to have a live feed, right? Internet's going down. We got fire on one side. We got ice on the other when it comes to America right now. Manifesting things, all this stuff that's going on in our, let's just say, realm of 2025. It's been kind of strange last, it's 2 weeks in, pretty much, almost 2 weeks in, and it's been a little bit very, let's just say, it's not been uneventful. It's been very eventful. 828 duality, monarch, the time travel mechanism. Is it something to do with the lithium, that they're going to do something nefarious in the near future? Oh my goodness, I have no clue. But it does make my hair stand up when I find information like this that is so compelling. I could not pass it up and talk about the daily what if. And let's get to the daily what if. What if Visual Disturbance is onto something? And what if there is something corresponding with the nefarious, evil, the Pinocchio tentacles, people that control the strings? What if they've done something on a molecular structure, chemical compound, and they need abundance of it? What if there's something evil, something going on? What if, right? And I could not believe the 88. I could not believe this, just to invert and switch the things. What do you guys think? On the Daily What If program here on Visual Disturbance. This one got me for sure, folks. This one got me for sure. Let's go back real quick before I conclude our program here. So you have this 828, right? 828 everywhere. All right. Here we are in North Carolina. It's everywhere, right? I wanted to point out that there was an 828 that was over here. And it was interesting because it's a business and it's called U-Turn. And I thought, well, that's kind of ironic. And it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's in a little small city up here close to Cincinnati, but it's on the Kentucky state line. But when you get out here, this whole area did not do too good when it comes to what happened and what was done in the last few months. And like I always say here, a little spray might make you go cray. And I feel like after presenting this material, I feel like on the daily what ifs that I might be, it's a little loopy but there's highly compelling information here that I just could not help but to show. And I hope you all enjoyed it, because I sure did. And I'm very, very super thankful that everybody was part of this program and the programming that took me for a little bit to pop off the daily what ifs programming in time. It's been a super blast for be able to present this. I was going to go a little bit longer, but I don't want to interfere, because guess what, everybody? We're going to have a program coming up here at 7 p.m. Eastern time, the DOC with Brother David. I don't want to interfere with that. That's why I was so like in the zone to get back on the horse here and present this material, since the powers that be shut me off earlier. What I come to conclusion is, what do you guys think about the 828? Is there some type of occult meaning? Is there some kind of esoteric symbolism? Is there something here that is just so beyond my pay grade that I can't articulate and understand? I think I touched base on it the best I could to interpret it in a little bit of encrypted language. And why is all these TV shows and Hollywood narratives being presented in a way with this 828? Explain that to me. 88, 828. What is it? There's more. There's more. I didn't touch the base. There's more TV shows and movies that incorporate the 828. And I just thought it was wild to me. So what do you guys think about the lithium? Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, share this thing out on Visual Disturbance, because we really appreciate it here. And maybe we're all just a bunch of crazy people, right? But this stuff is so bizarre that I don't even know how far. I'm gonna keep digging. How about that? We'll do another daily what ifs. I'll do a little bit more connecting the dots and kind of chiming in and speaking about this specific topic again. But man, I don't know. I'm gonna give a big shout out to DGS MMA. I know who you are, man. I hope you're doing well out there in the western parts of the states. How do you come up with this, Brian? And he's got a mind-boggling emoji. You wouldn't believe it. I kid you not. I stumbled upon it. I said, hey, I got to put this in my mind. And I said, man, they're just got to put the dots together, plug all this in. I got to, articulate it. And boom, I said, man, surely goodness, don't do it, Google Earth. Don't do it to me. Because I wanted to say, when I first went into it, the initial response, I said 828. Don't let it be there. Don't even type a coordinates in. Don't type north, east, west, south. I was like, don't you dare Google Earth. And 828, man, it's popped up, and sure enough, boom. And then I was like, you can't make this stuff up, because what does 828 mean? And then Google's telling you, and then it says the area code with the people that had the horrific disaster happen. How does this happen? But in 2025, maybe everything's coming off the rails, but it just seems so strange. But I really do. I hope y'all enjoyed it. It was a very good. I just enjoyed it so much. I was a little tongue-tied because I got a little rattled from earlier because the feed got cut off. But it's so successful. Here we are, 30-something minutes in, and I'm so thankful that I've been able to present this today. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope you're blessed by it. I really do. I hope it's something intriguing. I hope it made sense, because I had to pull it all back together after everything just like crashed. But that's how we roll. Endure to the end, man. Endure to the end. That's how I see it. And just try to do the best I can here at the visual disturbance side of things. But I'll take one question. I'll take two questions and put them in capitalized letters. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything here, because I like engaging with you guys. Johnny Kirk. They're trying to bring back the Tartarians, the Tartars, the Tartaria. You know what's so interesting about that, Johnny? Is the stuff they can't hide it no more. It's under the ground, right? But they're you can let's just have fun here. We'll do this for another daily what ifs. Go look at where the SMART cities are being, projected and modeled after, articulated on the map of America. Go look, and that's where the abundance is. Okay? Just like the stuff we spoke about here today, That's where the abundance is of the material that they need. That's just it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. It'll blow your mind for sure. But yeah, I don't get, like, let me clarify, because there's some people in the chat. I don't associate with cultic numbers. I don't get into like, oh yeah, let's praise this gematria information. I don't praise it in that shape or form. I do programs like this, like I said, on a daily what ifs, a thought-provoking, gear-turning conversation, and say, what can I find? Is there anything to speculate on? Is there anything to put in a theory? And yes, I put my spin on it, but I can tell you right now, the stuff I showed you, even though I put a fun, humorous take on it, you can freely go find that stuff out. There's, you can fact check it all. All you can do is go check out Google Earth. I use Google Earth Pro. Remember that. I use Google Earth Pro. A lot of people question that, and they're always like, hey, what do you use? I use Google Earth Pro. So with that being said, I won't go too long and too winded. I just want to tell you all, thank you so much for being back on with me after that hiccup with the Internet of Things. It was so kind of heartbreaking, but we get back on the saddle and endure to the end, like I said earlier. And I think Hippie Hebrew, was saying round 2 fight. Yes, we're in the fight here, and I appreciate that. At the beginning, it was hilarious on the chat, so I just fed off of it. And I just want to thank you all so very much, because keep your head on a swivel, like I always say, the daily what ifs, because we'll be back. I'm gonna try my best to do one daily. It's so hard to do one every day, but I'm gonna try to set the bar high and continue doing these daily what ifs. So until then, programming in time on this one. This one's in the chamber for success. I successfully was able to pull it off after all the chaos. But thank you all for being here with me, and thank you for being part of the Visual Disturbance community. Share this thing out. I appreciate it, all you all, and all your time. I really do. Everything y'all do, it just to share this thing out and hit the like button helps with the algorithm. It helps us out here at the Visual Disturbance, and you wouldn't believe that it helps out with the other affiliated channels too, because we're all working in together, unison, and trying to make this thing happen, and really just get the truth out there when it comes to biblical information. And we take deep dives in all kinds of different angles, but we want to just shine a light in this crazy world that we're living in. So anyways, 2025 is starting off with a bang, and don't go 88 miles an hour. Don't get a flux capacitor. Do not go 828 on anybody. But I'll see you on the next one, folks. Everybody have a blessed day. And Hippie Hebrew Homestead got me on the back end. I almost clicked the button. Will you do any more Bermuda Triangle content? Please, you've been getting after me for like 2 years, haven't you? You've been getting after me for like 2 years on that. And I think I might have to do that again. I think I might have to do it again. I believe I will. But hopefully this feed, because there's people in the chat saying it was censored. Hopefully this program goes out, and I cannot do it without your all's help. If you all share this out abundantly, then we can break through that algorithm and share this thing out. I really would appreciate it, because some of the content on here might be very sensitive to the algorithm, and with your all's help getting it out there in the Visual Disturbance world, I would really, really, really super appreciate it. So with that being said, it's enough of me rambling on here with the daily what ifs, but programming in time is behind us here. We just wait for the next one, daily what ifs. Got another one in the chamber coming up, and you would not believe what I just found on it too. It's going to incorporate Google Earth imagery also. But until next time, Visual Disturbance, I'm out of here. Like I say all the time, a little spray, make you go cray. Keep your head on a swivel. Everybody be good. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy the snowy, melting ice apocalypse, and be of good cheer, because it's coming again here at the end of January. So with that being said, until next time, Visual Disturbance, I'm out of here.
I've got one that can see.